Hello BookTube, this is Dario. Welcome to my channel Motley Reads. Today I will be doing a tag. It's a Tuesday, so it's Tag Tuesday, right? So we'll be doing a tag, the summer school book tag. It is originated by Doris at All the Books. So I have had a lot of fun by browsing in my bookshelves, finding the books that fit to these to the questions. Questions are really good. So yeah, let's go straight to it. So there are 10 prompts. So first one is language and arts. Tell us about the book you were assigned to read in school. And for this prompt, I picked this book, Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Of course, when I started thinking about this, there are lots of different books that I thought, I could tell about this one, about that one, but this was the one that popped up in my mind first. I read this book. This is my first work by William Shakespeare that I read. I was 15 years old. I was in high school. When I grew up, my dad, he had a pub. So always after school, when I started high school, every day after school, I went to work in a pub in the afternoon shift. An afternoon shift it is quite a slow shift. In the morning is quite busy, and then the evening is quite busy. During the afternoon, we had it open just for some occasional guests. So I had a lot of time, idle time, that I spent by studying and reading the books that were assigned. So the first one I remember in the high school that was assigned while I was working there was Hamlet, and I remember vividly reading this book. It was a yellow book with the black letters, Hamlet, and I fell in love, and I felt so cultivated for because I'm reading Shakespeare and I'm really understanding it, and I'm liking it. So I went all over the place and got to the library, got to Shakespeare biography, then got out Romeo and Juliet as well, read it, really loved it. So this is my first language and arts prompt book. Sorry, I've just got distracted by something here. Okay, second prompt, math. When will I ever use this again? Tell us about a book where the characters need to use math skills. And this is one I've been struggling with. I always loved science and math and so on. And so I thought that this is going to be easy. But then I started thinking, okay, what novel did I read? Because I was thinking the questions about novel. What novel did I read where I needed to use math? Not many came up, or not any at all. And then I found one, and this is the good one, actually. Is this one? It's a Swedish translation of Serfs by Douglas Coupland. And Serfs, it came out back in 1995. And this Swedish edition is from 1996, and it is one of these early books that are kind of giving a feeling of the IT revolution. It is about a group of computer geeks that are working at Microsoft in Seattle for Bill Gates. That is some kind of like a slave owner there, and they are working really hard under him there, and then they quit and they start to work on a startup project there. And the book is it has lots of cultural markers from that time IT generation, and it is written. It appeared first as a short story in the Wire magazine, and then he made the book out of it, and it is looks like experimental writing almost, with the there are also some codes here, and lots of lists and that kind of stuff, and also there is a section here that is written in a binary code that you actually can if you know how to read binary code, and that's a part. Binary code is written in ones and zeros, and that part that is coming from a part of math that is called discrete mathematics. So you know, that text makes sense. So I read this and I loved this, and this was back in 1996, and it was during my undergraduate years at university. Was in engineering. I was doing at that time programming courses in C++, and I was really loving this. This was all about, you know, Silicon Valley, on all that kind of. The mythology build-up, start of the mythology build-up around the Silicon Valley is one of the first books there. And clearly they need, you know, when you do programming, when you do advanced programming, you need a lot of math. So these guys, they are using math. It's a great novel, and when I found it in my bookshelf, I realized I need to reread this one. This was fun. Okay, so prompt number 3. Science. What was the last science-related book you read? So here I had the difficulties in choosing. I took the two latest readings in. I don't know if you can call it science. This is how I interpret it, at least. The first one is it is again IT, artificial intelligence kind of thing. I don't know if you know science. When I think about science, I think about physics, chemistry, biology, not really IT, but it is classified as science book, and it was on a science shelf. So this one, Hello World by Hanna Frey, and this is pretty interesting book. It gives you kind of, you know, state of the art of, you know, the research and thinking within the area of artificial intelligence. And it outlines, you know, where we are in different areas like justice, medicine, cars, crime, art, and it is written by Hanna Frey. And Hanna Frey is she's a associate professor in the mathematics of cities at University College London. She's been doing quite a few highly profile TED Talks as well, and the book was very readable and it's entertaining. I really liked it, and it gave me quite a good overview of you know, at least, you know, her view on the situation with the AI right now. And the second book I picked, and it is kind of a important book to read right now, is this one, The Uninhabitable Earth: Life After Warming. And this book is talking about what, you know, based on what we now think are the effects of global warming, and you can see here the list of references. And this is, you know, most of it is scientific articles, and this is written by this guy, David Wallace Wells. Is a columnist and deputy editor at New York Magazine. So he's a journalist, but it is very well researched. So based on what we know now, or what we now are kind of linking to the global warming effects on Earth, what is the, you know, likely, if we just follow the trend within different areas, what will be the likely development be, and how will Earth look like you know, 100 years or so from now. And it starts with, on the backside says it is worse, much worse than you think. It's not very uplifting, but strangely, when I read it through at the end of the day, I felt hopeful. You know, it just didn't, you know, the Earth, you know, as a spoiler, the Earth didn't, you know, disappear. We are still alive, but the things are very different. And the chapters here are heat death, hunger, drowning, wildfire, disasters no longer natural, fresh water drain, dying oceans, unbreathable air, plagues of warming, economic collapse, climate conflict systems, and so on and so forth. So it sounds very depressing, but it is not. It is educating, and still, you know, it conveys some kind of hope that you know, everything doesn't need to end up in destruction and mayhem. So The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming by David Wallace Wells. Prompt number 4, share a book from your TBR that is translated or deals with the government. And here I picked this book. It's a book called Shadow Play, Behind the Lines and Under Fire, The Inside Story of Europe's Last War by Tim Marshall. And this book is about the Kosovo war. Kosovo in the former Yugoslavia, that was the province of Serbia, here Kosovo, that became semi-independent after the war 1999. So I'm saying semi-independent. It is still not acknowledged by I think most of the countries as a own country, and this is. It says Tim Marshall, then diplomatic editor, Sky News, was on the ground covering Kosovo War. This is illuminating account of how events unfolded, a thrilling journalistic memoir drawing on personal experience, eyewitness reports, and interviews with intelligence officials from 5 countries. So it sounds pretty exciting, and I'm really looking forward to read this one. So this is my pick for prompt number 4, social studies. Prompt number 5, which category of extra non-core classes did you take the most of in high school? Now, I went to high school in former Yugoslavia, and we didn't have that, no extra classes, actually, non-core classes. We actually, strangely, we had extra non-core classes in the elementary school. And there I picked physics. But then in a high school, then we didn't have the general high school. You need to pick a professional program in a high school. So you need to pick an area to study, and I had the mechanical engineering as an area, and then basically you are in that, and everything is everything that you do there. You have, of course, some fundamental subjects like Serbo-Croatian language and Marxism and socialistic and the socialistic self government. These you have also public defense as the subjects that everybody had, but then you have the other subjects are for me it was mechanical engineering, so we didn't really have that system back then. Okay, number 6. Common core. Share a good pairing of a fiction with a non-fiction book. Here I have something. I have actually the fiction book in this pair is my favorite book right now, my favorite book of all time. But this is changing every 10 years or something like that. And the non-fiction book actually didn't read yet. It is on my TBR, but it is actually linked. Partially, to a very large part, with the fiction book. So the fiction book is Augustus by John Williams, and this book is just a fantastic book, and to you, Noah, that the Love Stoner, recommend. This is really good one. So Augustus, and the non-fiction pick is Lives of the Caesars by Suetonius. And Suetonius was living back then during the time of the Romans, and it is his account, or his history of the emperors at the point of time he wrote it. He was living, Gaius Suetonius Tranquilius is best known for his Lives of Caesars, starting with the dictator Julius Caesar and ending with the Emperor Domitian, which was published in the reign of the Emperor Hadrian, 117 to 138 current era. So Suetonius is probably born around 70 current era, either in North Africa or in Italy. So in here he is covering both Julius Caesar and Augustus, and also the subsequent Tiberius, immediate subsequent emperor of Augustus, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titius, and Domitian. So this is the one I'm really looking for, and I saw that Steve read it, liked it, and also Lukasz at Totally Pretentious read it recently actually and liked it a lot. So this is my pair. 7. Research. What was the last topic that inspired you to seek out books so you could read up on it? Right now I'm reading this one, The Chunkster by Umberto Eco, Foucault's Pendulum, as a part of Jason's read-along. Jason over at Byways in Bookland. So I'm well into the book here, and it has been very tough read so far. But 2 days ago I started to pick up a flow in this, and now I'm really thrilled. I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying it. So this is the one, and here there are lots of things covered here. It is really a book about the global conspiration, and when you talk about conspiration theories, then the Templars appear. And Templars, I know nothing about Templars. And here it was they described he described shortly the Templar story, and it was very fascinating, and I really liked it. So what I did, then I went and bought a book about Templars. So this is a Swedish translation of Piers Paul Reed's Templars, whatever is the original title in English. Yes, The Templars, of course. And I heard from Jason that this is really a good one, very good introduction to the Templars. So this is the latest one, and this is on my TBR. I'm really looking forward to read it. Good. So number 8, what subject area would you teach if you were a teacher? Now, I'm not a teacher right now. I've been teaching for some years. I've been a university teacher. I was working as assistant professor at one of the technical universities here in Sweden, KTH. And teaching in mechanical engineering programs. I was teaching manufacturing systems and engineering design theories. So that is my area of specialization that I was teaching in. Now I'm in completely different line of business, so to say. But still, I'm dreaming about teaching. It was a fantastic period in my life. In one way, being in that academic environment, but in another way, it was a bit too slow and too political and too, yeah. Let's not go into that. I think I talked about it in one of earlier tags, one of the nosy tags, why I left the academia. But if I would ever go back to teaching, what I would like to teach in is history. I love history, but I don't have a formal education in history, so that will obviously never happen. But that's what I would like to teach. I really love that area, and you can easily engage around it, both as a teacher, and you can easily engage students around it as well. So that's my reply to that prompt. Now I share a photo from your school days, and here unfortunately I have nothing to share. I'm a refugee, and we fled from a war, and left everything behind us. So I don't have any photographs at all. It is like I came to Sweden when I was 18 years old, and it feels sometimes like the life up until I was 18, like it didn't happen. It is only in my head. That's the photos I have. They're here, and I would love to share them with you, but I can't, unfortunately. And then finally, 10, tag some fellow lifelong learners. Now I'm a bit behind on my booktube watching, so I don't know who did this, who didn't do this. If Noah didn't do it, over at everyone who reads it must converse. And Jason, Bivis and Bookland didn't do it. You two guys should definitely do this. I would like to see it. And obviously, everybody who finds it fun should do it. And I'm seeing people are doing it. So and I'm really looking forward to watch everybody doing this. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked or read some of the books that I presented here, and please leave a comment. It's always fun to have a chat afterwards. See you.